Hi Flosstube, I'm Annie and I'm the Proper Stitcher, and welcome to episode number 84. If this is your first time joining me, welcome. I am so glad you stopped by today. This is a channel where I like to talk about cross stitch and quilting and hopefully give you inspiration to fully finish your projects. And if you're returning, thank you so much for your continued support. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. I have filmed, this is my second Flosstube today. The one I recorded earlier today was with all of the upcoming retreat information. So go and check out that video. We have an exciting guest designer. Kim Gavlik and Ashley with Stitch Etc. and I are co-hosting Samplers Remembered, which is a retreat that we will have in the fall that focuses on either original samplers or sampler reproductions, and it is going to be so much fun. Our guest designer is Little Robin Designs, and this will be her first retreat as a guest designer. So the retreat will be in Franklin, Tennessee. Go and check out Flosstube number 83. I'll link it below and at the end of this episode, and you can go and hear all about the details about that fabulous retreat that we are all so excited about. We have been planning this for a while. We have so many wonderful ideas to make this a special event for all of the attendees, even down to the ribbon that we're using on some of your gifts. So go and check it out. It's going to be so much fun, and it will be September 21st through the 24th of this year. So let's get to this episode. Grab your pen and paper, grab your stitching, grab your favorite beverage. It's not going to be a long video because I've been away for a while, and I wanted to split up these two episodes so that we didn't have one really long episode, which tends to take a while to upload on Flosstube. And for those of you who are not interested in the retreat, I didn't want to make you all sit through that information, but it's still fun to hear. So if you want to go check it out, go check out Flosstube 83. Okay, so this one, let me go over some life updates. I was gone last week. I went to visit my sister Lisa in Florida. And for those of you who have been with me since the beginning, you know that my sister Lisa was diagnosed with lung cancer 2 years ago. And I made her a quilt for her to use during her chemo and just through her recovery period, and just to wrap up, just something special for her to have. Well, she loved the quilt, and she said that she wanted to learn how to quilt once she started feeling up to it. So her husband Dan got her a sewing machine similar to mine, and we have been planning this for a while, and she finally felt like she was ready. She felt like she was physically ready, and that they had the time in their house and time for me to come and visit for a week. So that's what I did. I went last week to help her learn just some basic sewing. She's never used a sewing machine before, so we did charm pack quilts the whole week that I was there. And my sister Jamie came from Southern Alabama for the weekend, and we made her a quilt too. So I'll get more into that later when I show you some of the things I worked on, but that's where I was last week. It was a great time to be away. It was a great time spending with my sister, and we just had so much fun. Gray and Tristan are doing great. They are, Tristan's out of school yesterday and today. The school was closed due to illness. There were a lot of children in the high school that were sick, and a lot of the faculty and staff were sick. So he got 2 extra days off this week, so he's pretty excited about that. And Gray's doing great up at school in Michigan. She's cold, but she said she's doing great. She's just not a cold weather person, but she loves the school and her environment and all of her friends. So she's in good spirits and just bundling up every time she goes outside. And then of course, while I was gone, Matt kept the house in great condition, smooth running as always. It's always nice to leave just to get a break, but it's nice to come back home too. So it was a good week last week. I did not get a lot of stitching done. I have one finish to share with you. I did not stitch the whole time I was at Lisa's because we sewed all day long on quilts. So I didn't get a lot of stitching done, but I did get one finished this week when I came back home. So let's just jump into it. So where do we want to begin? Let me show you my cross stitch finish that I had this week. I also have some antique samplers I want to show you. I got 3 in the mail this week that I want to share with you. So the one finish that I have this week is Brenda Gervais Spring Frolic at Bunny Hill. And this is a design I started 2 years ago when we were on a trip in Louisville, Kentucky, a girls' trip for cross stitching. And I got the pattern there. I kitted it up and I started it right away, but I never finished it. So this year I did finish it. And so here is my finish. I just love Brenda Gervais patterns, and this is just speaks to me with the blues and the whites. It's so pretty. I used all of the called for colors, which is a blend of Weeks Dye Works and I believe Gentle Arts. But I used 2 strands of floss over 2. This is stitched on 32 count Vintage Country Mocha. And I'm not sure how I'm going to finish it. I've talked about maybe sewing it into a stand-up pillow, like with a base. Maybe I'll just do a regular pillow. I might frame it. Kim said she could make a board to fit it. It's in between sizes of her boards. So some thought will go into this, but I really wanted to have this one done so that I can display it for Easter this year, for spring. I just love those bunnies, and look at that basket with those eggs. Super, super cute. It was a fun stitch. I really did enjoy it. But that is Spring Frolic at Bunny Hill. So let's see. That is my only finish and the only thing I stitched on in the last 2 weeks. Everything else I did was quilting related. So what we did at Lisa's, oddly enough, she and I purchased the same fabric. We didn't plan it, but we both wanted to do a patriotic theme, and we bought our fabric 2 years ago. So this fabric may not still be available, but what we did is when I got there, I had a lot of stash. I had a lot of fabric that I could take with me to share. Some of it I knew I wouldn't stitch or sew, so I just took it with me to share. We made, and I'll insert some pictures, and I posted pictures on Instagram and social media, but and on Facebook. But we made a baby or a baby throw quilt or young girl quilt for my sister Jamie's granddaughter. She's 6 years old, so we started off making that. I had this cute fabric with frogs and kites and kind of like a picnic scene that we stitched, or I keep saying stitched, that we made a quilt for her. We thought that that would be a good practice quilt. So on Friday night when I got there, we just unloaded my car, we set everything up, we set up the sewing room, and then on Saturday morning we just put on comfy clothes, and all day that's all we did. We made the quilt for my grandniece. We made 3 of these patriotic quilts. I had enough for 2 quilts, and then Lisa had her charm packs for 1 quilt. So this is one of the quilt tops. I have not finished mine into a full quilt because that weekend we worked on the baby quilt, we worked on Lisa's quilt, and we actually turned off my camera by mistake. When I pointed down, I hit my remote. But we made quilts that weekend for everybody. I wanted to make sure that we finished Jamie's quilt too. So Jamie, Lisa, and I, all 3 have the same quilt, but 2 were completely finished over the weekend, and that was for Lisa and 1 for Jamie. Jamie had to leave Sunday, and so what I did when she left, I basted it, I did the free motion quilting on it, and that was a lot of fun. But so everybody got a finished quilt, but I left mine alone because I wanted to make sure that everybody had their quilt done while I was there with them. So this is one of the quilt tops. This is one that we all 3 have, and it is a patriotic theme, and I love this fabric. But let me show you. We just did simple charm pack quilts, and I think they had a good time. But here is my quilt top. And I just added, I did 2, this is made with 2 charm packs, and then I just added white squares in with it so it will go a little farther to make a bigger blanket. So I need to baste this and put the binding on, and it will be done. But this one was so much fun to make. They all enjoyed it. We even made a pillow for Lisa with her scrap fabric that was left. Just such a cute and happy quilt top. Absolutely love it. It was the perfect beginner quilt for her. She enjoyed the process. She learned so much. They even taught me some stuff that just by accident. Neither one of them had ever made a quilt or used a sewing machine, and through the motions they all noticed some things that were easier for them, and then when I tried it, it was actually easier for me. So we can always learn from each other, even from people who have never done something before. You can learn off of each other, and that was so much fun. Lisa's husband Dan joined in with us. He had some great ideas. He knows how to sew and knows how to use a sewing machine, and he had a basic understanding of how the quilting process goes. So Lisa's in great hands. She is going to be able to work on a lot of quilts. I left another quilt pack, a charm pack with her, another patriotic 4th of July weekend theme. It had vintage swimsuits on it, and so we've made that quilt top, and she's actually basting it this weekend. So I can't wait to hear how that goes for her. And then the other quilt top that I made, I forgot that I had purchased this quilt top. So I did not take the Three Sisters fabric with me because I remembered I had this. This is fabric by Tilda, and it is the, let's see what collection this is from, the Chic Escape collection. And again, I just wanted it to be a simple charm pack quilt. I had 3 of these charm packs, and this is how it looks so far. And I just loved how Art Deco and vintage this fabric is. It is absolutely beautiful. I may have it upside down. I think I do. I've got it upside down. You turn it this way. So this is my quilt top. I even have some gray silver thread I'm going to use for quilting. I'd like to do free motion quilting on this, and so that is going to look beautiful with this. So this is the front, very busy, but I think once it's all together, it's going to be so beautiful. This is an example of how I've mentioned before. If you see fabric that you like, go ahead and buy either a fat quarter bundle or pick a couple of the fabric line or the patterns that you like and buy at least a yard of each, so that further down you have a quilt that you can make, because once they sell out of the quilt line or the fabric line, they don't get it back in. And I have been keeping my eye on this line since last summer when I was at Greenwood, Indiana for the Stitching with the Housewives retreat. We went into a fabric store and they had the full line. It had just come out and I loved it. I really, really loved this, the blue. And I wish I had bought fabric. I wish I'd followed my own advice, because now that I want to really sew a blanket or a quilt with this fabric, it's all gone. That's the fabric that I guess everybody liked. So what I did is Matt gave me for Christmas, one of my Christmas gifts was a gift certificate to our local fabric store. It's called Gina's and it's in Knoxville, Tennessee. And so I was in there looking around and she had some of the charm packs, but she was out of a lot of the backing and the voltage of the yardage of the fabric. So I got the charm packs and I thought something is better than nothing at this point. And this is what I got for my backing. I got this beautiful peacock fabric for my backing. And I just love the blues and that peacock. I mean, it is, like I said, it just looks so Art Deco to me. I love it. It's so pretty. So this is going to be my backing. And I got 2 extra yardage. I got one for my binding. This will be my binding. And I'm thinking if I want to make my quilt top or the top of my quilt bigger, if it's not big enough with the charm packs, I'm going to use this and make a border around the front with this fabric. I absolutely love Tilda fabrics. So pretty. And I cannot wait to get this one done. That'll be a project later. I think I need a break from the sewing machine. We were in her sewing room every day for the whole week. And we would get up in the morning, we would eat. Sometimes we would go shopping or run errands or go do something to give us a break. But I really wanted to get her far enough along in the process so that when I left, that she felt comfortable not only operating her sewing machine, but just quilting in the process too. So that's all of the quilts that I worked on last week in my one cross stitch finish. I am ready to get things back in order and back to normal. And I had just a small procedure done yesterday, so that kind of consumed my whole week getting prepared for that, getting the house ready. And today I just feel a little groggy. So hopefully by tonight and tomorrow I will feel up to stitching again. But let's go over my haul. This is what I got over the last 2 weeks. I did not get a whole lot, but I got a few things in the mail. I did get some more of my sticky board. This is the sticky board that I use. You can order it on Amazon, or you can get it from the Fat Quarter Shop. I'll link that below. But I like this sticky board the best. This is called the Self-Stick Mounting Board. And you can buy sticky board at Joann's and in your local hobby stores like that. But what I have found is the ones that I've purchased from Joann's, it's hard to cut. And my guillotine doesn't give it a smooth cut. There's a way that they package it, and then they have this brown layer of paper over the adhesive, and it's hard to cut through that. This one is just so easy to cut, and it's thin enough. It's not too thick to work with. It's perfect. And so I bought several sizes. I got 8x10s, and I got some 5x7s. So that's, my stash was getting low of all of my mounting sticky boards. So I got some sticky board, and then I called Johnson City Cross Stitching Crafts. They had me on the list for the Heart and Hand Collector's Heart kit. So this came with this pattern. It came with some floss, a button, and fabric. You can order this from Stitch Etc. You can also get it from Cross Stitching Crafts in Johnson City. It is a popular design this year. You may be on a wait list because I think everybody has sold out, but both of those stores could order it for you. And if you don't have it by this year, you'll definitely have it stitched for your display for next year. But it is so pretty. I love red. Blue's my favorite, but I love red too. So, which is another reason why with back to our Samplers Remember retreat that we're having in Franklin, Tennessee, Little Robin Designs selected a, she gave us options of antique samplers to look through for her to reproduce. And Kim loves red, I love blue, and it is a perfect blend of the colors that we both love. And it's such a sweet, sweet sampler. And I have grown over the last year or so to have such a fondness and desire to collect antique samplers. So this retreat is coming at a perfect time for me in my journey, my cross-stitch journey, but it's also a great opportunity for you to learn more about the history of samplers, what the motifs mean in a sampler, and just that process. And even if you're not a sampler person, it's a great retreat because you're with other stitchers. You can bring anything you want to stitch, but you'll also have an understanding of, even if the motifs are not in a sampler, a lot of these motifs are in our everyday stitching patterns. And so it's just fun to know where we're coming from, where these current designers are gathering their inspiration, and it is from old samplers. So with that being said, I have 3 I want to show you that I have gotten in the mail this week. This first one I'm really excited about because we all know I like blue, but this is the oldest one that I have in my collection. This is a tiny sampler from 1789, and here it is. I just got it in the mail today. This is 1789, and the person who sold it to me sent me some history that she has researched on the girl who stitched it. And this is her name. I just got it in the mail an hour ago. Zeresh Andrews. And this came from Connecticut, 1789. And I love it. It's in a dark blue, a dark navy blue. And I just can't wait to read everything she sent me. It's several pages of history on this little girl. And it keeps falling. It's very thin. It's on this acid-free mat board that I'm just using to hold it up. But I am so excited. Look at the back of this. That's the back. So I'm excited to learn a little bit more about her and about this little piece. And I can see this being on display in my room. I love it. Absolutely love it. So that is one. Here's all the information I'm going to read about. Here's another one I got this week. This one came yesterday, and it's going to have to come out of the frame. The frame is in bad shape. But this one is Lydia Corbishley. And I'm going to come into you like this. I just loved all these colors with that red and the golds and the blues in her alphabet. It is just absolutely beautiful. Lots of different stitches on here. But look at that row of blue right here. So pretty. I'm so excited about that one. This one's it's a pretty big one. I think it's about 12 by 12 and 10 by 12, excuse me, or 12 by 14. And then this one, I just loved all of the colors in this one and the way they just pop. The greens and the blues and the pinkish reds and the browns and the golds. All of that just looks amazing to me. And on the back, it says it's Anne Bagshaw, aged 9 in 1810. So that's going to be a fun one to learn a little bit more about her too. So samplers are just a beautiful, beautiful display that whether or not you like to stitch them or whether or not you have the desire to stitch them, I think that we all can appreciate the history involved, and it helps us understand where we are today as stitchers. So that is all of my haul, all of my whips. All of the retreat information you can go back and look up. I do want to talk to you about some plans. I forgot to set out my Americana sailboat sampler from Artful Offerings. I'm starting that this week. I have pulled all my threads. I've pulled my floss, my fabric. The only thing throwing me off is the called for colors. They are 2 reds that are throwing me off. They are DMC 21 and 22, which those are more of an orangey red. Let me see. Let me get it for you. Hold on. Okay, so I'm back. So this is the sampler I'm talking about. Now, I've been wanting to stitch this sailboat for Pierre. Pierre is the Seaside Sparrow I stitched last year from Artful Offerings. This year I said I want to make him a boat. So this is Artful Offerings Americana Sailboat Sampler. And I'm wanting to start that this weekend. So I am going to use 36 count paper bark linen from Fox and Rabbit, which is here. And it is the perfect color fabric for this. Very neutral with a little bit of modeling. And that's a nice big piece. I have plenty of fabric I can cut from here. But I love all the blues, the whites, and the golds. But what was throwing me off, oh, I guess I've already pulled it. What was throwing me off, the reds that are suggested. They are just a little too pink. They're not even pink. They're kind of an orangey red. So I am going to play around with some of the reds that I have in my stash and decide what I would like to substitute. But I do not have to let that hold me up from starting. But here are the reds. I'm thinking here are the other colors. I just love these colors. And I got a lot of the floss from Stitch Etc. They have a great supply of floss right now. I just need to find me some reds because when I got the DMC and compared it, I just didn't like the way it looked. So I'm coming up with some other reds. You are welcome to join me. I hope to have this sailboat finished by this summer. I also am trying to think of what is my next JBW Designs pattern I want to stitch. And I'm thinking ahead to spring. So here are my 3 choices. I'm either going to stitch Rabbits in the Round, this French Country Bunny. This would go so fast. I could probably just stitch this anyway. And then the Rabbit Alphabet, which is, let's see if she has which is right here. Rabbit Alphabet. It's just a cute rabbit sampler. So those are my 3. I'm trying to decide which one I want to stitch this spring. I just love Judy's designs. Y'all know that. I just absolutely love them. Well, let's talk about giveaways. So last week, or 2 weeks ago, I asked you all to share with me who you're watching on Flosstube. I do. I watch Flosstube a lot like it's TV. Not a lot of things that I want to see on TV most of the time. So I enjoyed reading all of your comments. And I've had some people ask me, why do you do that? Why do you support other people, Flosstubers and people in the community? And, don't you want them just watching your channel or people you know? And the answer is, I think that there's room for all of us. There's room for everybody in this community. We all have something different that we bring to the table. We all have something different we like to talk about. And I think that we can all learn from each other. And so I just love supporting new Flosstubers, existing Flosstubers. Just have fun with it. Just go and see what everybody's doing. There are some Flosstubers that I watch. They stitch things that I don't enjoy stitching, but I still like to learn about them and I still like to see what they're doing. So that is why I often ask, who are you watching on Flosstube? Who are some of your favorites? Because that's how we know what's going on. And I am so excited with all of the new young Flosstubers that I am seeing come out on YouTube, because that just means that our community and our hobby and our craft, that it's growing, and it means that it's not a dying craft or a dying hobby. It is still vibrant and thriving and exciting as it can ever be. And so I just get so excited when I see new Flosstubers come along. So that is why I do it, and that is why I will continue to do it. So, but thank you all for answering. I even heard of some new ones through your comments that I've never heard before. So that was so much fun to read through your comments. So the winners from last time are this is the first one. This is Country Cottage Needleworks, Winter. This goes to Laura Noel, Noell. The next one is Heart and Hand, Bird in the Hand, Winter. This goes to Jenna, Jeanna DeWitt, Dewitt. The third one is Heart and Hand, We Won Bernard. This goes to Kathy McCrea, MCCrea. This next one is the Nebby Needle Blue Blooming Sampler. This goes to Sheree, Sheree Wilson. The next one is a quilt pattern from Fat Quarter Shop. This goes to Sue Tower, Tauer. And the last is also from Fat Quarter Shop. This is a 5.5 by 5.5 rotating cutting mat. This goes to AG Weather Wax 1. AG Weather Wax 1. If I called your name, send me an email at theproperstitcher@gmail.com. Tell me your name, what you won, and your address, and I will get these in the mail to you next week. Monday, I'm planning on taking a big trip to the post office again, so hopefully I hear from you by then, and I can go ahead and get it out in the mail by Monday. So this week's giveaways, I have another stack. So how my giveaways work, I ask that you be a subscriber to my channel. I ask that you like the video and that you leave a comment below answering the question, or just leave a comment below listing the number that you would like to be entered to win. I also use a random comment generator. It randomly selects the names based on the number that you use in there. So I say select all the names that entered number 1, and then that's when I start the wheel and it selects someone for me. Please do not send me your message or your request in any other form, just by answering below on this channel or on this episode. The random comment picker does not pick from Instagram, it does not pick from my emails, and it does not pick from Facebook, only from the YouTube comments below this episode. So, okay, so the question this week that I would like for you to answer is, I always do this. Why can't I think of it? How about, with all of us thinking spring, hopefully soon, few months, what is your favorite spring flower? What is your favorite spring flower? Which is really a hard one. Or tree, or what is your favorite thing to see blooming in the springtime? Mine's dogwood trees. I love to see the dogwood trees. In Knoxville, we have what's called the Dogwood Arts Festival, and we have these beautiful garden tours that you can drive through these neighborhoods and just see so many beautiful, beautiful dogwood trees. So that is my favorite spring flower tree. So what is yours? Okay, so here we go. Number 1 is a set of 3 floss drops, courtesy of Fat Quarter Shop. So one has a sunflower on it, needle and thread. These are called floss bitties. They're floss drops. So one person will get all 3 of these, set you up for a while with some floss drops. Number 2 is Desert Daybreak quilt pattern from Fat Quarter Shop. That's number 2. Number 3 from my stash is a design by Romina Petrucci. It's called My Happy Place. That's number 3. Number 4 is another quilt pattern from Fat Quarter Shop. Number 4. Number 5 is a Stitching with the Housewives pattern, Be Mine, perfect for Valentine's Day. Number 6 is Quaker Star Delight set from Janet Douglas. And number 7 is also from Janet Douglas, Matter in Hand, cross stitch pattern. So those are our giveaways for this week. So enter below and I will be happy to do our drawing next week. Next week I will come back to you on my regular day. I'll be back to you on Thursday. I'm not traveling next week. I am not doing any retreat planning, but in the video about the retreat coming up in September, all of those details, all those dates, registration opens next Friday, which is February the 10th. at noon Eastern time. So please go and watch that video, get all the information about the Samplers Remembered Retreat in Franklin, Tennessee. So until then, I hope that you have a wonderful weekend, you stay safe and healthy, and you enjoy stitching as much as you can. Thanks for watching.